after winning the short track series championship, what's next?
Well, everybody's pushing me to go ASA racing, and actually the award for winning that short track championship was an ASA ride that Carl Wagner had put together.
Is it a good car?
I didn't know much about it because I pretty much had my mind up that I was going to run Busch Grand National because I had come down by your dad, and I had purchased the car that I ran the first Busch race up at Milwaukee in '93.
'93.
So
wait a minute. So you went to the farm shop? Where did you buy this car? Okay.
Yeah, I actually came down here and I ran Concord a couple times, the Big Ten Series.
All right, in your late model.
Yes.
Yep.
And then while I was down here,
what year was that? 93?
This would be 92.
Okay. Damn.
Okay. So.
Me and Carrie,
you'll laugh at how this all got set up because Milwaukee came along and they were going to have the first Busch race.
Me and Carrie might have had our our little street stock over there.
Yeah, might have been.
Yeah.
And we wanted to run that race, and Bob Fish Pontiac was pushing pretty hard to run that race because it was a big deal in Wisconsin. So my dad called Alan Kwiecki and said, hey, we would like to do this. How do we go about finding a car? And he got us with Don Hawk, which Don must have called Dale. Yeah. And Dale had a car available. So when we were down for the Concord, we swung by and talked to Dale.
Do you remember pulling in there?
Oh, yeah.
You remember seeing Dad?
Yeah.
What did
I remember when we were standing.
How old are you?
At that time, I was probably 28.
Yeah. What did y'all say?
Well, we were in the shop looking at the car. And
what's the car look like?
It was a black 3.
Yeah, but was it I guess in '93 it was probably Lumina, like square Lumina.
It was a Lumina.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and it was a.
He didn't have.
It was a little Hopkins car.
Sorry to keep interrupting you. So he didn't have Jeff Green. He didn't have hired drivers. This is his car. He drove this car.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's selling a car.
This was before the Jeff Green thing.
Yeah, he's driving his Busch cars back then.
Yes.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, so I walked into the barn and had all the deer heads, and Tony Senior was there, and the thing was we were looking at the car, and all of a sudden this big tall man came walking in his Dale. It's like, holy crap, what a presence he's set, And
were you expecting to see Dale at all, or were you thinking that you were just going to go in and look at this car, maybe with people going to help you?
Tony made it clear that Dale was making the deal.
Okay. Yeah. I'm scared to death for you. This is years ago.
Yeah. So we ended up making a deal, and
what was the deal?
I don't. It was a fair. Yeah. It was a fair price.
Was it a trailing arm car or 3-link?
It was a trailing arm car.
Yeah, okay. Because he bought a 3-link from Rusty that he got from when Rusty got rid of all his stuff that Kenny Wallace was driving right around that same time. And he bought this 3-link gray chassis that he drove at North Wilkesboro. But I didn't know if you'd bought that car.
No, this had an orange chassis in the whole 9 yards.
This was a real deal.
Yeah, this is a real deal. Damn. And then, so we bought that car from him, and that was all part of getting going.
How was the car?
It was good. I ran my first Busch race at Milwaukee, and I finished 17th.
Yeah. Damn. How cool is that?
It is.
Where'd that car go?
Well, actually, Matt Kenseth killed it.
Matt Kenseth drove a car that Dale Earnhardt drove.
That is amazing.
I love connected chassis.
I got one for you.
Yeah.
He. What happened to that car is the throttle stuck at Milwaukee, and he hit the wall with it, and we destroyed it, and that was the end of that car.
What year?
That would have been 97.
Yeah. Okay.
97, and then. Where we had our shop there in Denver, North Carolina, where we were doing our Busch Grand National stuff, across the street was Hank Parker.
Yeah.
And Hank bought a bunch of stuff from Dale.
Yep.
I ended up buying a car from Hank that was one of Dale's old cars, and I turned it into a pit stop practice car that Matt Kenseth tried to kill every day out in pit practice area.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. So you got your Busch car, and now you, like you say, you had your mind made up that you're going Busch racing. Another massive step, right? Another leap in expenses and costs. And how are you getting supported to be able to go do this?
Dale, we should have never did it. I mean, me and my dad were naive to this. We should have never came down and did this. What we did first is we went in Denver and we found 4 acres of land and we put up a building. And along with the building, we also brought the trailers down. So we started a distributorship here for 5 states down here with the Triton trailers. And then we were going to go race the cars.
Yeah.
We were going to run.
You bring your late models down and all that.
I brought the late model down, but I didn't race late models here. I used it to go back to Wisconsin to race some. You know, I went back and ran the openers in '94. I actually won both openers at Madison and Slinger.
Traveling from North Carolina.
Yeah. And then we ran like 10 races that year
with your Busch car.
With the Busch car.
And why do you say you shouldn't have done it?
Because we didn't understand. We were naive to how many people it took first. I mean, we came down with 2 guys. You know, we showed up at our first race with me and 2 other guys.
How many would you have needed?
Well, you probably need 6 guys at that time with truck driver and engine guy. And, we were running the V6s. We knew nothing about them. We knew nothing about the little bit we knew about the Busch car was what we got when we bought the car from Dale and what we were doing at Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And so our first race was Rockingham, and we were just out to lunch. We didn't know what springs they have in the car or anything, and it was a total disaster, really. We should have never, like I say, looking back on it, how this all worked out, I don't even know, but somehow it worked out, but it shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Well, I imagine you learned a lot though out of that. I mean,
who helped? Who was helping you?
Nobody.
But I'm sure you were walking around in the garage going, "Hey, man, I'm struggling today." Who are the people that you could communicate with? There were certainly some people from your neck of the woods in that Busch garage.
Well, not so much at that time. We got some help from Mr. Labani because they were tied in the Carl Wagner with the engines. Mm-hmm. So he kind of gave us a little bit of direction. And we got little tidbits here and there, but it was basically I couldn't afford hiring anybody, so we were doing it ourselves.
Yeah.
And it was really difficult.
I remember that. So this is a really fun moment. One of them things that's fun for me. I bet he didn't think nothing of it. But I was at Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
And
I remember talking to you.
I had my late model there, and I was running some laps, and it was the day before the race, and he was there testing his car, and we were the only 2 cars at the racetrack that I remember. And it's like a Thursday or a Friday, right? And I'm going to run the feature for our late model program later Saturday night, and I think the Busch race was either that weekend or the next. And you had your car there, you were driving it, and you had your big 18-wheeler hauler and just packed full of parts and pieces. And I had a issue with a carburetor, and we didn't have the part. And I'm like, I'm going to go ask Robbie, and I was so nervous. And you had this look on your face all the time back then. And the look on your face was, this is hard as hell. I'm grinding my ass off. I'm working my ass off, and I'm not getting any traction. You just had this look on your face of, man, you were really frustrated, and it was hard to approach you. You were not the smiley happy guy you are today, and you're kind of you're intimidating. So I was like, all right, I'll go ask him. I'll go. And it's like me and Wesley Sherrill standing there, and we're like, who's gonna go ask you? So we walk over there, and I'm like, hey man, I got my carburetor, and I got a problem. And didn't know if you had it, and you're like, oh, we might have it. You go back in the truck, and you're digging through stuff, and you come out with something, and I'm like, oh, thanks, man, that's so nice. And we chatted for about 5 minutes. And I never knowing, that we would race together and against each other and have and be sitting here today, right, having this great conversation. But and I don't know why that little moment was so brief, but as brief as it was just kind of a interesting thing how we were put in that place on that that day to have that conversation or have and I learned, like, I really, after that day, even before you got with Matt, I was like, man, that was so nice that as tough as things were for you in that moment for your program, and you were probably thinking, damn, what do I got to do to get this thing going? You're working as hard as you've ever worked. It visually, it appeared for you to say, yeah, I got you. I got a part over here. I figured there was 50% chance you were going to say, I ain't got time for that. Get the hell out of here, kid. But you didn't, and I really appreciated that.
Time out. Do you remember this? Yes. And also, did you also know that you were that unapproachable?
No. My feelings are hurt. No, I think back then, Dale's right. I mean, I really was trying to make the dream happen. You know, I was really wanting everything to work out. You know, we were way in over our heads. We didn't, you know, like I said from the beginning, we shouldn't have been there, but really wanted to make that work. I really wanted to be a part of what this is down here. I really, you know, like a lot of young kids, you know, you just you wanted that dream, but you had to earn your way, and I think that's probably the word behind my name is you earned it every day to try to get there.
Hey, if you like that video, like and comment below, and don't forget to subscribe so you'll never miss another piece of Dirty Mo Media content.